Ahmaud Arbery case, tragic story. I call it a lynching. That's really what it was. Two white men in a car with guns chasing this man down for no reason. No reason at all. They didn't give a reason to the 911 dispatcher. Speaking of 911, here is a call that we believe, even though it has not been 100% verified yet, it appears to be Gregory McMichael, 64 years old. This is the father who has some experience in law enforcement. He's since retired.
And Dino, he wasn't actually a police officer. He was a investigator in the district attorney's office for quite some time.
And he was a cop at one point as
well. He was a cop at one point.
He
was both. So this is what we believe to be the 911 call from Gregory McMichael. Have a listen to this.
Glen Brunswick Communications, Operator Smith.
Hey, I live out still stores.
Okay.
There's break-ins out here. There's a guy in the house right now. It's a house under construction.
Okay, do you have your address or that house's address?
Right at 219 or 220 Satilla Drive.
And you said someone's breaking into it right now?
No, it's all open. It's under construction. And he's running right now. There he goes right now.
Okay, what is he doing?
He's running down the street.
Okay.
Back into the
Okay, that's fine. I'll get them out there. I just need to know what he was doing wrong. Was he just on the premises and not supposed to be?
Stuff on it. And he's been caught on the camera a bunch before at night. Kind of an ongoing thing out here. The man that's building the house has got heart issues. I think he's not going to finish it. So.
Okay, that's fine. And you said it was a male in a black T-shirt?
A white T-shirt. Black guy, white T-shirt. And he's done running back into the neighborhood.
Okay, and...
Up front yard.
And what was your name, sir? Okay, and your phone number? Okay, I'll go ahead and put it in and have somebody come out there and check it out, okay?
Okay, so let's take over here for a second and let's break down that audio. If that in fact is Gregory McMichael, we believe that is, but it hasn't been verified yet. Even if that is true, and I made this point yesterday, even if this kid Arbery was walking around a home under construction, he didn't say he was doing anything wrong per se or breaking the law. Even if that was true, that does not give you the right to be a vigilante with your dope son, with your guns, and follow this man in a truck and ambush him and eventually murder him. That does not exonerate anybody. Let me be very clear on that situation. We talked about how the media also covered this thing. And by the way, Gregory McMichael and his son Travis have both been arrested, charged with murder. They are now behind bars. Don't feel sorry for them one bit. They're going to spend a lot of time behind bars. There's no question about it. They're going to be charged with something. I don't think there's any question about that. But we've talked about all these things in the last 48 hours that surround this case. I talked to you about Shelley Luther. The right-wing media coverage didn't do a lot on this kid, Arbery, getting gunned down, but they certainly had a lot of coverage about this salon owner painting her out to be some sort of hero, who did break the law, by the way. We talked about Donald Trump's comments, his first comments about this case, where he said, well, maybe there's stuff not on tape that we'll learn. Maybe there's, kind of a defense for these two idiots and these murderers, the McMichaels, the Grand Wizards themselves, And now I want to talk to you a little bit on the other side, though, and I want to criticize LeBron James because I think it's warranted. Now, I've said this a lot. I've never been a huge LeBron James fan. We all know he's a great basketball player. This has nothing to do with that. He does have an enormous platform. I think he said some really dumb things before in his career. He's not Kobe Bryant. He's not Michael Jordan. I don't think he's extremely intelligent. I've said that about LeBron. He's done some great things for people. His school, he saved lives. He's done some heroic things. I just don't think he's a very smart guy, and here's a reason why. LeBron James takes to social media, and here's what he says, quote, "We're literally hunted every day, every time we step foot outside the comfort of our own homes." Now, let me be very clear on this. LeBron James isn't hunted every single time he steps outside of his house, maybe by fans for autographs.
He's adored, he's loved, he's compensated.
The idea that every African American is hunted down, the idea that every African American is hunted down every single time they leave their house is absurd. It is ridiculous. Am I saying that there isn't racism? Of course there is.
Absolutely.
Am I not saying that these two are racist that gunned this poor kid down? Of course I'm saying they're racist. I've called them Klan members. There's a lot of racism out there. But first of all, just because someone is a racist doesn't mean they're going to act like these two animals did. I almost called them gentlemen. It doesn't mean that just because someone is racist, they're going to murder you and hunt you down. There are a lot of racist people out there, sadly, but I think the majority of police officers are good people. I think the majority of Americans are decent human beings that do not think every single time they see an African American they want to hunt them down. I think the comments that LeBron James makes paints all African Americans as victims.
It does.
And I think he did an injustice to his own people. I really do.
I think he should have his Twitter account suspended for a month after that.
Well, I don't think he should have his.
Brian,
it's his opinion. I just think it's ignorant.
That is fear mongering at the absolute highest level by someone with arguably one of the top 5 platforms in the entire country, if not probably top 10 in the entire world.
There are some
who young African American men and women and children look up to and take every single word what he says as their reality.
Well, listen,
and that is just not even remotely true. Did these two men hunt this particular individual? Yes. But what LeBron James is saying is so awful for racial relations across the United States that I can't even put a word to it at this point.
Well, listen, my anger is towards the 2 white men who committed this atrocity. But there are some African Americans out there in the media that agree with us, like a Jason Whitlock, for example, who ripped LeBron James yesterday. And
how can you not?
He's an African American, basically saying it was a low moment for LeBron.
Self-promoting, I think he said.
Yeah. I don't know if it's self-promoting as much as I just think it's ignorant. I don't think LeBron James was thinking when he made that comment.
It's dangerous.
I think it was.
It is dangerous for young African-American men and women in this country to actually believe that they're literally being hunted whenever they leave their own homes.
It's not factually accurate. He's wrong. Does that mean that there are not some horrible people out there that are racist, that commit murders and absolutely. But to say that every single time an African American steps foot outside his home, he's being hunted is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And for those people who have not actually seen the dash cam video that came from I believe that was the truck or the car that was behind this incident, there was some sort of scuffle. You do see the victim, Ahmad. You see him running. You see him running around the truck, and then you see him tussling with the son over a shotgun. You see him punching him, wrestling with the shotgun, and that's when he was shot. Now the father, Gregory's in the bed of the truck firing off his pistol.
Right.
So this very, very much feels like the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman case where there was some sort of fight. But to your point, why even chase him down and hunt him in the first place?
And George Zimmerman was neighborhood watch. These were just 2 guys in a truck armed who were pursuing someone for whatever reason. And the reason I don't believe that he was actually on video. He may have been on video jogging by homes because he jogged. That's what he did. But I don't think that they actually have him on video stealing things or committing crimes or anything like that. But the fact that they created this story that police said it was an actual home invasion when it clearly was not. They lied to his mother, and it was covered up for 2 months. I mean, you can't believe anything these 2 are saying.